have temporarily set up our bedroom in my office. Things are kind of moved around in here. So this is just kind of what it's gonna be like for the next couple days until they can get someone in here to look at the mold. They did say that it's probably the roof leaking, and it's definitely coming from like outside of the apartment, so that's all we know. Yeah, welcome to quarantine 2020. We've gotten another update. They are going to be coming in the apartment and fixing the roof. It is predicted to take about a week. The one wrench that's kind of been thrown and everything is that we can't be in the apartment when they're doing it. It is 6:12 a.m. on April 19th, and we are just getting ready to drive home. It's my first time officially driving in my new car, so we'll see you in 12 hours, I guess. Hi guys, it is Tuesday, May 5th, and I'm coming to you from my bedroom, or what was my bedroom. You might notice there's a little something behind me missing. It's called a wall. If you could see above me, you would also see that the ceiling is also missing. So basically this is going to be part 2 of my little vlog adventure that I am titling my quarantine diaries. And I wanted to sort of explain a little bit more about what's been going on. In the last video that I did, I was trying to remain optimistic about everything that had been going on with my car, with my job, with my apartment. And at that time, I had just briefly touched on the fact that we had a pretty severe mold issue in our apartment, that we were going to have to kind of figure out what was going on with that. And fast forward about 3 weeks later, I can kind of fill you in a little bit more on what is actually going on and kind of where we are at now. So we found out that we had a mold issue in our apartment actually sometime last year was when we first started noticing it. The maintenance team at our apartment was really great. They'd come in, I think, 2 times last year to sort of address the issue, but the mold kept coming back, and it was mainly in one room of our apartment, which was our master bedroom, where we are now. When we had called them back about 3 weeks ago saying that there was still a persistent mold issue and that we had started to notice mold in the ceiling, they kind of went in full force with like, okay, we really need to fix this. They discovered that there was a problem with the roof leaking, and I think where I might have not been like the best at communicating this is the mold itself was not like toxic mold, right? We weren't living with like a black mold situation. As far as we know, it was kind of just like your standard Southern California molds that you get because it's really humid here, and we have a flat roof, and whenever it rains, we're gonna kind of have these issues. But the mold was not the main concern. The concern is that we are in an older building and we have asbestos in our ceilings. Something we knew about, they disclosed it to us when we signed the lease. It is pretty much a non-issue unless there are repairs being done in the apartment. So when they found out that it was a ceiling issue, they basically told us we cannot be here during the time that they were doing repairs. We had a couple of options. One option that they presented to us was to move into a vacant apartment that would be unfurnished. It would have basic utilities like water and electricity, but no internet. And we would stay there for what we were told at the time was 1 week. And my boyfriend and I love each other very much, and we have survived quarantine thus far in the comfort of our apartment with internet. We don't want to push that because we don't know how much longer this whole quarantine thing is going to last. So when presented with that option, we kind of just told them, you know what, I think we're gonna go back to New Mexico where our parents live, and I think that's just gonna be the best solution. Also bear in mind that we were very skeptical about this 1 week estimate that everything was going to be done, because it's a big room and there was kind of a lot of issues to address. So we packed up our car, my new car that I've not really gotten to drive very much, and we drove 800 miles out to New Mexico. We had packed about 1 week's worth of stuff, and it was, in my case, mostly leggings and comfy clothes. And you know, we spent our first week there, and for me it was really just like a nice reset. My sister ended up flying back as well, so we got to hang out, which I love. So it was just kind of a nice recovery period for me, given the past couple months that I've had have been kind of rough. It was good to be around family. So no surprise, a couple days into the repairs, our maintenance staff called us and said, it's gonna be another week. And we were kind of like, we're prepared for that, it's all right, we're in New Mexico, it's no big deal, we can stay a little while longer, non-issue. We kind of handled that with grace, right? Our maintenance time doubled, and we were like, cool, no big deal. We had not really been communicating very consistently with our apartment staff. They had been a little hard to get a hold of, as far as like what they were going to do to compensate us for this, and like, you know, just communication in general. Our maintenance staff is amazing. Our apartment staff is a little bit inconsistent. So we get a call about, I think it was last Thursday or Friday, saying that the inside of our apartment was done and it passed the air quality test, which is just to make sure that we're safe from any asbestos issues, and that we are good to move back in. But they were still trying to find a vendor to come and patch the roof. So we were like, cool, we can be inside of our apartment for the remainder of the repairs. They're still going to be fixing the roof, which we were kind of like, oh, that's kind of a headache. We're going to be, you know, working from home in our apartment, and they're going to be, you know, banging on the roof. But at least we have our apartment back. Great. So we pack up my car again this past Saturday and make the 800-mile drive back to California, which was really bittersweet, because we were just, you know, so excited to be around family again that leaving family was kind of tough. And, you know, we were like, well, our apartment's done. There's no reason for us to really stay, especially if they don't know when they can get a vendor out to fix the roof. Could be another 2-3 weeks, right? So we drove back Saturday, and after a very long 12-hour drive, we walked into our apartment to find that this room was nowhere near done. And that feeling, oh, okay, I don't know. We were just so upset, so angry. And I think at that point we were confused about why anyone would tell us that we could move back in to this room when there was no wall or no ceiling. It's really poorly insulated right now. It gets really cold at night, really hot during the day. I'm sure you can tell by my little sweat mustache going on in here. And that meant that our apartment, which is in a complete state of disarray, was going to have to stay that way. Which for me, as a low-grade anxious person who likes things to be organized, who likes to have a space that I can function in, I was not doing so great. And compared to my first quarantine diary, where I was were really positive about everything. That was kind of all going out the window now. And I'm going to do a whole video about how I kind of express myself through art and how I sort of channel these different emotions in different ways. So keep an eye out for that video. That should be coming soon. Don't have an exact date for you because productivity is wildly inconsistent these days. So Saturday, we left a very strongly worded voicemail to our apartment's office manager to call us back as soon as possible and explain the miscommunication about move-in ready in regards to our apartment. Obviously they weren't open Saturday or Sunday, so we heard from them yesterday, which was Monday, and basically they said, we don't see a problem. You can live in your apartment. It is safe now. You're not going to die from asbestos. And we were like, okay, but 100% of our stuff is in 75% of our apartment. And you know, I think when you say it, like, that doesn't sound so bad, but like the metaphor that I've been using is like, imagine fitting 100 pounds of potatoes in a 75-pound potato bag. Even if they all fit, like, you're kidding yourself if that's a solution. So, you know, we were really kind of frustrated with how much we were having to advocate for ourselves in this situation. With the stay-at-home orders, with quarantine the way that it is, we have to be in our apartment. We have to be somewhere where we can live. And this, to me, is just not livable. Everything is a mess. We are sleeping on our mattress on the floor. We have our clothes in bags. This is like going on week 3 of cycling through the same outfits every 5 days. And it's frustrating, and I think I'm a little done being optimistic about it. We were hoping that we could use this whole process as kind of a leverage to lock in our lease for another few years at this place, but given how things have been handled in the past week, I don't know that we will stay here. Our lease is up in July, and we have kind of some serious thinking to do with regards to that. I think once we pushed back a little, our apartment kind of understood where we were coming from, and you know, they've compensated us as much as you know, we feel is fair. It's really not a money thing so much as it is like a comfort thing, and like just the principle that we were told to live here without a wall and a ceiling. And that repairs are still obviously going to be happening for what we've been told are 2 more weeks, which is 4 times the original estimate. And that's not the apartment's fault. Like, that's just related to like the pandemic and things are happening slower. We're not mad about that, right? Like, it sucks, but like, that's no one's fault. But they're gonna still need to fix the roof, so I think in a couple of days they are going to be ripping the roof off and replacing it. I think I don't know. And we will be temporarily moving into one of our like show apartments in this complex, or in a nearby complex that's owned by the same conglomerate. I don't know. So that's where we're at. I'm interviewing for jobs right now, and that's been you know, an exciting thing. I will have to find a corner of this apartment that I feel is decent enough to interview in tomorrow. Looking forward to that very much. I'm excited about the interview. I'm not excited about finding a place in this apartment to sit down and look very put together. I mean, I guess I could sort of just like, you know, there it is. But reality is, this is where we're at. But I wanted to fill you guys in because I think when I posted my mold inspired illustration, a lot of you guys could like empathize with how scary mold can be, and have your own stories of dealing with difficult apartment complexes with regards to mold. And I feel you on that, more so now than I did then, because back then this issue was only just starting to unfold, but now we're really in it. So yeah, we don't have a wall, we don't have a ceiling, we don't have very much patience left. As far as moving and everything, we just don't know. So you guys will know when we know. We'll have to kind of just figure that out, and who knows, everything in a couple months could be totally different. I kind of hope that it is, because this is just chaos right now. I'll kind of show you the rest of the room that I am seeing right now. So here is the wall that we are missing, the ceiling that we are missing, and when we first came back, this room was entirely empty. These mirrors are the closet doors, so those were taken off. We have a huge dehumidifier in here that was just left here. I'm not sure why, because it wasn't plugged in or anything. I think they're just kind of storing it here. All of our clothes are off the hangers because this was the closet that also had mold. Yeah, it's a mess. I think that's been partially the reason why my productivity has been a little lackluster, although I was back home for 2 weeks in New Mexico and had plenty of time to film, but didn't because I just didn't really feel like it. But I think it's important to sort of document everything that's on my mind right now as I'm going through this, not just the apartment stuff, but I think just the quarantine stuff in general. It's a crazy time in our lives that we will probably remember and look back on, and it's probably going to be written about in history books. And so having some sort of recollection of where my headspace was at the time is valuable. And I think the part that I want to get across is that even though all this crazy stuff is happening in my life, I know how good we have it. We have a roof over our heads, sorta. We have food in our fridge. We have family and friends that have been very accommodating and supportive. We have been very stressed the past few days. Very stressed. Past few weeks, really. And, you know, we're dealing with it as best we can. Also, I have officially put in 230 hours into Animal Crossing, and I now have a 5-star island, which is all I can really look forward to at this point. Yes, 5-star island, go me. I'm very proud of it. I have been tempted to get a, what is it called? A screen capture card to potentially film like an island tour and some Animal Crossing content. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. If you are, let me know, because it's like $70 on Amazon and it's already in my cart, like 1 click away. So let me know if I should make that poor decision, and maybe I'll upload this like today, because I don't really feel like it needs much editing. I rambled on about as much as I can about this situation, and I appreciate you guys hanging in there. Thank you for your kind words and your support. I hope you all are hanging in there and doing well. I'm sending love and well wishes and positive vibes to all of you, and I will check in with you soon. Hopefully there won't be a part 3, or part 3 will be when everything is better. Fingers crossed. See you guys later.